Hello, children. It's another day for creative writing. I'm glad to have you today again. So, we're going to continue our class on informal letter. Do not forget that last week we looked at informal letter, but we looked at the meaning and the features of an informal letter. So today we're going to look at the layout of an informal letter and we're going to look at example of a letter to a dad. Great. So at the end of this class, you will be able to explain the meaning of an informal letter. Then identify at least two features of an informal letter and you're going to write an informal letter today. Okay? So we move to the recap of the previous class. The recap of the previous class. Now last week we said that an informal letter can be called a friendly or a personal letter. Why is it called a friendly or a personal letter? It is because the writer of the letter knows the receiver very well. Okay, it could be a letter to a friend, a letter to a dad, a letter to a brother, or to a member of the family. Now, we talked about the features. We talked about the features of an informal letter last week, and we said that there's always the writer's address and the date. Very important. The address is placed at the upper right hand corner of the paper and the date comes after the address. Do not forget the rules of writing the date and the address. It could decide to go on having the punctuation mark or not having the punctuation mark. Then we'll have the salutation, the opening greetings. Dear sister, hello Zena, dear daddy or dear mommy, dear Letitia or my dear Letitia. Again, we have rules here. If you want to write dear daddy, you would say that the D in there is in capital letter and daddy, the D in daddy is also in capital letter. But if you want to write my dear daddy, the D in dear will now be in small letter. My dear daddy. Just like what we have here, my dear Letitia. Okay, the D now in dear, it's now in small letter. Please, it's very important we pay attention to this. Before we have the closing or the subscription, we have what we call the body of the letter having different paragraphs. So today, we're going to look at the body of the letter. But before then, let's finish the recap of the previous class. The closing or subscription, the most acceptable way is always yours sincerely. The Y in yours capital letter, the X in sincerely small letter. You have comma, then you have your first name. This is followed by the writer's first name. For an instance, yours sincerely, Nayo. Okay, so going to now look at the layout of paragraphs of an informal letter. We're going to see how the paragraphs are written. The first one is the opening paragraph. But before we look at the opening paragraph, do not forget that a paragraph must have one central idea you're writing or you're discussing. So the opening paragraph should reflect the relationship between the writer and the receiver. There could be greetings and inquiries about close relations or friends. Now, please emphasis there could be. You may have it at the opening paragraph, you may have it at the concluding paragraph. That's why we said there could be. Okay, so you have all the paragraphs. The subsequent paragraphs should discuss the reason or reasons for the letter. Now, an informal letter, you may have 3, 4 paragraphs depending on what you're writing. But once you have the opening paragraph or the paragraph, why you're writing the letter, the reason for the letter. Now, the concluding paragraph, The concluding paragraph should be ended with polite request or greetings. Okay, so you could have this. I would like to hear from you very soon. My regards to your family. Or till I hear from you, bye. It must be polite. Let's look at a good example of an informal letter. Now, this letter written by Letitia to her friend Farida. Let's look at the layout very well. Now, the layout here, we have what we call indented style of writing. From the beginning, where you have the address, to the closing, this on the all out the same line from the beginning to the end. G187 Road 41, that's the house number. Victoria Garden City, Aja, Lagos State. Again, full stop is used at the end of a particular geographical location. And here we have Lagos State. So you have full stop. Then we have the address, sorry, the date, 4th May 2020. Do not forget that the TH in the date, they are written on the same line. Okay, so if you have them, the T and the H, up, it means fourth position. But when you have them on the same line, it's no, it's a good example of a date. Now we have the salutation here, dear Letitia. How are you? I hope that everything is fine in America. My friend and I are healthy. I saw your friend Irene last week and she said you will be in Nigeria this summer holidays. She told me that you'll be going to Abuja for a dinner with the wife of the president, Her Excellency Aisha Buhari. That's great! I wish I could go with you to see the first family. I will be staying at home this summer holidays. Surely I will have fun with Iyaloluwa, Faith, Deborah, Oyindamola, Kumi, Ayola, Christine, Emma, Ella, Oluchi, Teniola, and Naomi. We're going to launch our Confidence Club on August 20th, 2020 at the Four Point Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Our head of school has invited the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Mrs. Sawolu, and she promised to come with other dignitaries in the business world. How I wish they could make it. It will be an opportunity to unite with the old friends. Letitia, it's been an exciting time for me. I would like to hear from you as soon as possible. Send my greetings to your family. Have fun. Yours sincerely, Farida. Okay, so please attention again to the closing. Yours sincerely. Y in capital letter, S in small letter. So let's compare this to the next letter. Okay, now this letter written by Jarasimi to his daddy, we're going to compare this to the other letter written by Farida to Letitia. First, look at the layout of this letter. The address is written at the top hand corner of the letter. Now, this is what we call the indented style of letter writing. Indented style of an informal letter writing. Now you have the address, the date, the salutation, the body of the letter, and the closing or subscription. Okay, so let's go to the date, sorry, the address. G187 Road 41, that's where the house is located, the house number. Victoria Garden City, Aja, Lagos State. Again, pay attention to the punctuation marks and the use of full stop at the end of a particular geographical location. Then we have the day, 4th May 2020. Dear Daddy, I have some good news this week. I have been selected to play for the school football team. I am over the moon, Dad. You will be able to come and watch the team play next month. Mom said that you're coming home on leave. I have had a really good week at school. I got the top mark in the ICT project. As you know, I have always been interested in ICT. My ICT teacher is very smart and intelligent. This term, we constructed a drone and I was actively involved. Our head of school commended me for being one of the best ICT learners in our school. Don't mind, Dad. I will show you the video clip. I'm working on constructing a car that uses water. Dad, I'm a smart kid. I know you're not surprised because you are smart. Last week was Ifanyi's birthday. The party was at Dream World. There was a bouncy castle. We had fun jumping in it. We also had a game of indoor football there. I scored 2 goals. Later, we went to Mega Chicken to have ice cream. Dad, I hope you're very well. I hope you are well. My brother and I miss you greatly. I hope to see you soon. Yours sincerely, Dara Simin. Okay, so let's look at the class work. Okay, so this is your classwork. You log in to the portal and then you do your classwork. Use the following guidelines to write a letter to your dad who is in Abuja telling him about your school life. Now tell your dad about your school in general. Do you enjoy your school? Do you like your teachers? Tell him about an activity or project or examination you have done well. Don't forget to tell him about your friends. Now, here you're going to describe your friends and the things that you do together in school and then after school. Remember your extracurricular activities. Do not forget to use polite requests or greetings to end your letter. Great. So today we looked at, now let's look at the summary of our today's class. We looked at the layout of an informal letter, and we had 2 letters, one written by Farida to her friend Letitia, and another one written by Jarasimi to her dad as our examples. Okay, don't forget that we said an informal letter could be called a friendly letter or a personal letter because the writer knows the sender very well. And then also we talked about the layout of the body of an informal letter, the first paragraph, the second paragraph, or the subsequent paragraphs. And then before you look at the closing. Okay, my dear, wonderful, lovely children. Till I see you next week or we meet again next week. Bye.